Hello, it's Martin Gummery again from New Leaf International. One of my short flip chart videos. Some are shorter than others, and this is a fairly short one, and it's in response to a number of questions we get all the time about engaging the workforce in business improvement programs and large transformational change programs. And one of the first things that I want to say is we do see a misunderstanding, is the only way I can describe it, of what people perceive to be engage. Because I think, and I've met senior managers, middle managers, anybody, that when they want to engage people in new work practices, large and small, they think that telling them is engaging them. And of course, when we stand back and spend time thinking about it, we know that that doesn't really work. And there's a process to go through to involve people and have them feel the difference and be supportive of the changes that are going to be made, and get them to be a real key component within that change process. So one of the first myths is, of course, engaging people is not telling people. Now, the next diagram is one that I found over the years I've drawn on flip charts at various different times, because one of the myths is that when you take a workforce or even a team of people, 6, 10 people, 100 people, 300 people, 3,000 people, this sort of what I call the rule of the group is true in any circumstance. And what this is basically a third of people, by nature or nurture or just their own, what we might call attitude, is they are, naturally positive people. A third of the workforce are looking for which way to go. Should we go over there? Should we go over here? And they're looking for direction in the organisation. And then there's another third, the third, and they are naturally challenging people. They want to understand something before they do it. They don't necessarily sound like they believe in what we're trying to do as a change program. And they, as I said, are roughly a third. So there's a rule here that says a third of the workforce are positive. And they're the type of people that want to do things differently outside of work. They're quite actively involved in social clubs, dart teams, under 11 football matches. They do all sorts of things. They're naturally inquisitive and they want to do things. These people, understandably, they want to go, I don't know which way to go. Tell me which way to go and I'll go. These people sound like blockers, but they're not. It's a way that they communicate. It's a way that they have found that that's the way that they, on a one-to-one basis and in groups, like to voice their opinion. There's not one of these thirds that's wrong, and there's not one of these thirds that should be changed. But as change agents or people leading or facilitating change, what we've got to be aware of is we need to start. Because when we start, these people are naturally going to go and do stuff. They want to do it. And what we're doing there is we're giving the middle third the direction. We're showing them the direction. And a lot of that middle third will start to, through various different means, start to engage with, I'm seeing the way that we need to go here. So at this point, there's a possibility that you could get 2/3 of the workforce relatively quickly engaged, which is the topic of what we're talking about here, engaged in new ways of thinking, new ways of working on improving the work systems. So the positive guys are going to draw the ones that looking for a safe way, what's required. And of course, if these people are getting the attention, these people are going to go with it. Now, what we mustn't do is ignore the third, because sometimes that third aren't necessarily negative. What they're doing is they're communicating in a way that we don't find ourselves engaging with, but actually they could have some really important points. They could have some really important issues that are going to affect the enthusiasm of these people. So we should listen to them. And what we should be doing is, when they've got a point, we should be saying, hang on a minute, let's just think about it, let's engage with it. So when these people are starting to play a part in the engagement of the program, some of those might migrate to a more positive position. But at the end of the day, getting 2/3 out of the organisation doing things differently is a very positive approach. The danger, the big danger, is that the management team spend all their time trying to pacify and convert these people, which is fueling their natural tendency to reject things. It's fueling it, and yet these are watching going, I just want to start. These people are here going, just tell me the way to go. So the big learning here is not to wait for everybody to be, in inverted commas, engaged. It will never happen. So a few practical points about engagement. Telling isn't engaging. Engaging is an output of activity. So if we're doing things in an improvement program, people then become engaged. It's an output. But an input are the components to the program, the time that people are engaged with it. And as I said on the previous slide, you'll eventually get 2/3, and that's quite good. So if it's an output, start the program. Don't need to spend months, and I've seen examples where people of big organisations have never started because they don't think they've got everybody lined up. They never will. I've already said it, the naturally positive and the followers will make up 2/3 of the organisation. That sounds pretty successful to me. And don't forget, the thoughts of the challenges are critical to test the process, because those people aren't necessarily wrong, but how they communicate is sometimes inappropriate. So, engaging the workforce is involving the workforce, not telling them. And I've seen examples where I've been told by very senior managers, we will have everybody engaged by the 31st of March, and it's just one of those signs that says, I understand you're going to tell everybody by the 31st of March, but you can't plan on them being engaged. All right, thank you. So on various different means, you can contact us, and we're very happy to have discussions and debates on various things. So again, thanks very much for your time. Bye.